Hello and welcome to a very special episode of Weekend Winners in association with BetVictor. It is our annual pilgrimage to Ascot itself to preview the fifth and final day of Royal Ascot. Alongside me, without the top hat, Sam Boswell.
Too hot, way too hot, Kate. Just about got the jacket on. But yeah, it's great, isn't it? Our annual field trip. They let us out the studio and we come and have some fun.
I know, it has been a lot of fun. It has been hot, Rixie, but it has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been great fun. This is like, you know, we have some National Hunt fans who watch the show, I think. When you say it's better than Cheltenham, everyone kicks off. But I genuinely
But you still say it every year.
That's how I feel, and that's the truth for me. It's an amazing place, and yeah, we've been blessed with the weather. It's been nice, but maybe just a little bit too hot if we're allowed to complain, are we?
No, you are definitely not allowed to complain about the weather here. How's your betting week been?
Tuesday was a bloodbath. Wednesday was a little bit better, and Thursday was okay again. I think we were all on Trawlerman, so we'll toot that horn. I thought William Buick gave him a cracking ride yesterday. Yeah. Dragged Illinois into deep waters, and nice to see him get his big day. But I think we were all thinking of Ciprios still after the race, weren't we?
Yeah, exactly. What it could have been then if he was there as well. But Sam, how's it been for you?
Yeah, up and down for bookmakers. Obviously, we record this Friday morning, so still a couple of days to come. Slightly behind at the moment, so we're needing a couple of good days, but I'm sure no one out there is going to be worried too much about us bookmakers, are they?
Not too much, no, to be fair. No, we are more on the punters' side, aren't we? And hopefully we will be today by giving them plenty of winners. But of course, before we get into the action properly, a reminder as ever to please do gamble responsibly. Our tips are not guaranteed to win, but we will also do our best to point you in the right direction. Right, let's kickstart with the 3:05 Royal Ascot on Saturday. This is the Group 2 Hardwicke Stakes for the 4-year-olds and over a mile 4. Rebels Romance now heading the betting here. Gold Cup hero William Buick doing the steering deck.
Yeah, he is. Look, he's the class act in the race, isn't he? Absolutely. And he did run well over this course and distance last year in the King George. That was the day, remember, they watered, crazily enough. He's going to have his ground, so he might just get home a little bit better on Saturday. Obviously a lesser race again, but I often sometimes feel a flat track brings out the very best in him, and I do think if we can get him beat, it's here. We shouldn't forget he's a 7-year-old. Al Rifa as well. I've never really warmed to him. I struggle to warm to him. He always feels like he's outpaced in a race, and then he runs on when it's all over. He's got first-time blinkers. So I kept going further and further down the list, and I ended up on Table Talk at a big price. Now, we had a big price winner of this race last year in Isle of Jura, and I'm hoping for similar. I just think this lad's been crying out for a nice, even gallop at a stiff track, and he's going to get that. He's had 2 cracking runs this season in the John Porter and was it the Dubai Duty Free at Newbury. A massive drifter in the bet in the first day, still ran well. Then this day behind Aidan, he ran very well again, but this race didn't suit him. They crawled and it was really tactical. He was doing all his best work late. I think if he gets an even gallop to run on Saturday at a stiff track where he's got format before, he'll outrun his price. And if the front two at the market fluff their lines a little bit, maybe this is the boy that'll pick up the pieces.
Okay, so a nice price to start then, Deck taking on those at the head of the market. Talking of Isle of Jura in this race last year, time to bring out the trumpet, Sam Boswell. You tipped him up to win this.
Yeah, I did. I thought Rixie would mention it, but thanks, Kate. $5 in the post to you instead of him. It's a really interesting race this year, and I sort of struggled, and I thought, trying to take on the favourite. We'll talk about the elephant in the room, shall we? Charlie Appleby's record here, as it stands at the moment, is a bit underwhelming for a guy that would have some serious ammunition and a great trainer. 5-2. I just wonder if we might see a little bit of an easing in that price. I went through them all. I found it really hard to find a selection, but I am going to take a chance on one that I need to see some money for, Kate. Candleford's been off the track since this race 12 months ago, where he was 4th. You had Goliath in 2nd. You said Isle of Jura winning. I've got to say, I do just think he might have the profile of a horse that if he comes back to anywhere near his best, he can make the frame. We're seeing him winning here at the track previously. He goes well on good to firm ground as well, so I've got no concerns there. Is he classy enough to win? Maybe not, but at 25-1, I think he could be a frame filler, and you just never know. Like I say, 4th in the race. It's been a long time between drinks. He's probably not good enough to win, but I was trying to find some value somewhere in the race, and I'll be really curious to see what his price does. Last year, when he ran in this race, he had the benefit of a run at the Curragh beforehand and won, so that's a negative for me. But I don't think he's just not really a sort of trainer to send a horse for a day out. Maybe it's an opportunity to get started, but I thought 25 to 1, I'll have a small bet and hope he shortens.
Yeah, 25 to 1. That feels like a long time ago, that Duke of Edinburgh win now, doesn't it? I mean, it was quite a while ago, to be fair, but that's when he looked a horse that was at the top of his game, that was still going to go on to better things again. And yeah, just to see him replicate that would be good to see, wouldn't it? But you talk a lot of sense there about Charlie Appleby's record, because of course it was the story of last year's Royal Ascot, wasn't it? And this year it seems to have followed the trend. You hope it doesn't become a trend, but people are starting to have the murmurs, aren't they? For all that we all love and adore Charlie Appleby as a trainer, I think that he is a mastermind, but it is just starting. The question mark is there now.
The only thing I would say is there was one Royal Ascot, I think he had a very, very small team within that sample, and you probably need to go through the prices, see how many have sent off favourites, how many disappointed. It shouldn't be a thing. Probably needs a bit more statistical analysis. And who knows, he could have a winner or two before this even goes out and we'd look really silly.
The man couldn't do wrong about 6 weeks ago, and now we're chucking him under the bus.
Exactly. Oh, we're very fickle in this game. Fickle is definitely what we are. I'm not going to be fickle, though, because I'm going to side with Rebels Romance here, where I wanted to side with him anyway, even when Kalpana was in the race, because I just think he was underestimated. Now, of course, she's come out. He is at the head of the market, so I look far less original than I really was intending to. But, yeah, I thought that Kalpana was the huge danger. So without her, it has just made Rebels Romance's job that bit easier. A 7-time Group or Grade 1 winner. And for all that he's known as a real globetrotter, he was able to show his class back on home shores last time out, winning a Group 2 at York, showing his usual gutsy style in the process. First start over a mile 6, and yes, he only beat Epic Poet by a head, but he was giving the eventual second £5. And for all that was over a mile 6, the drop back to a mile 4 is no issue. He's at his best over this trip, so has to be given plenty of respect. He ran a fine race in this contest previously when finishing 3rd, and of course that was, you know, at the top level as well. So
just an arc winner in front of him as well.
Exactly that. So no disgrace in that whatsoever. That was his sole run at Ascot as well. So getting the feel for a track, ground will be fine, and just great that we're getting to see him on these shores before he goes off globe-trotting again in the autumn. So Rebels Romance for me. We've got 3 different selections, so loads of options to go at. Hopefully that has helped you narrow down the field somewhat anyway, but do let us know who you are siding with in the comments section below. As we move on to the 340 now, the Group 1 QE2 Jubilee Stakes, 4-year-olds and over 6 furlongs. The feature race of the day, French raider Lazat is at the head of the market at 16 to 5 for Rixie and for Western Racing, who have really been on target then this week, Sam.
Yeah, they've done well, haven't they? I mean, I appreciate they've spent big, but you're still under pressure to deliver, aren't you? They've got the favourite in here, and I think if you look through this race, there's a real theme towards the head of the betting. We've got all these international horses, which probably sums up the state of the top level of sprinting in the UK at the moment. I think it is, but it's good to see, and this is what one of the most amazing things about Royal Ascot is, that you've got international connections here, and I respect the favourite massively, but I was going to chance the Japanese horse. Wouldn't it be amazing if we saw a Japanese winner here at Royal Ascot?
Their first one it would be as well.
I know, unbelievable. I couldn't almost believe that stat. And you go back through this horse's form, good to firm ground, it's going to be absolutely perfect. We're watching him here come second at Chartin to, I think it was the best sprinter in the world, it's fair to say at the moment.
Yes.
The winner's unbeaten in 12, I think, something like that now. It's a good run. Is it good enough to win this? I think it's good enough to certainly be well and truly involved in the mix. We're priced at around, 9 to 2, 5 to 1, something like that. I think it's very fair for a contest of this nature. I wonder if the setup of the race will suit. That's the only thing. Going to probably hope not be too far back, if you see what I mean. I don't know. It's such a strange setup for this, and I'm sure Rixie will take us through the pace of it. But I thought the Japanese horse was just really interesting at a bit of a price.
It's the only thing we're really missing, isn't it, is that Japanese winner at Royal Ascot. We love the international pomp and ceremony that we get with Royal Ascot as well. And it's what makes the meeting what it is, really, Rixie.
Yeah, absolutely. And you need the guys like Nick Smith who are at Ascot. They're desperate for all these international horses to run well and win, because then it brings, big owners from America, Australia back here. And look, if there's a division to do it in, it's this division
Yes.
because our sprinters are so bad. I'm sorry, like we saw what happened on Tuesday in the King Charles III. I think we had a horse rated 104 when a Group 1 British sprint at Royal Ascot. That's not a good look. So,
And the irony is that we're breeding for speed as well. I mean, we're not going to go into this now because all three of us could get on our soapboxes about this, but it's quite ironic though.
Well, yeah, we're breeding kind of maybe for precocious speed, which is maybe slightly different again. But look, I was interested in the two, the two kind of foreign raiders. The Japanese horse was one, and I suppose he's not a foreign raider anymore, but the Aidan O'Brien horse was ex-Aussie. But they were drawn on the wing, and I just wondered, could the race get a little bit away from them? I think the kind of down the middle was a good draw here, and I'm with the actually Wathnan second string, Flora Bermuda. She's got Royal Ascot form, she's got form over this course and distance as well, and you know, she's just a lovely progressive horse. She progressed nice from 2 to 3, and it looks like she's progressed nicely from 3 to 4 because she had a big run last time out at York in the Clipper Logistics, and you know, she probably was a little bit unlucky that day. I thought late on she shaped like she needed it quite badly, and look, this is her form last year over this course and distance in softer ground. Probably again not the greatest race, but you know, the fact that she can act here on the track, and this is her coming down the wide outside in the noseband. Now, I didn't know this, and I'm going to make myself look a bit silly here, but that's easily done. I did ask about did Oisin Murphy have the choice of riding this, because she's obviously trained by Andrew Balding. I didn't know Oisin Murphy's actually got a retainer with Sagir's owner, Prince Faisal. So that's why Oisin is not riding for Andrew Balding in that race. So if you were put off by the fact that Oisin's not on her, Oisin is contracted to ride Sagir.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's clarified that and cleared that up for us. So thank you very much for all that. And I'm super glad about that because I'm with her as well here, where, again, she just looks overpriced. Since she was about 12 to 1 then on the graphic that we just showed that. She's highly consistent. She has proven herself as a bit of a staple now on the sprinting scene. And as you say, in this country, it's not as though it's a lofty bar in terms of the sprinting scene that we have in this country. But from what she's been able to show in her last few Group 1 starts, finishing 4th, finishing 5th, going down by less than a length, as you say, when finishing 3rd in the Champion Sprint Stakes in October. And that was behind the Wathnan-owned Kind of Blue. So you wonder if they've had it in their mind from that point onwards. But it was that reappearance start behind Inisherin, where she was only beaten a neck in that. And when you look at the price of Inisherin there at 9 to 2 compared to the 12 to 1 then for Flora of Bermuda, it would have to be her. And the fact that Wathnan Racing, yes, they've bought about 278 horses this week, but the fact that they have elected to purchase her ahead of this, they don't miss, do they? I know that they buy a lot of precocious young horses as well, but also these older horses, I can't name too many that they've missed with, so not that she's an old horse, but
Richard Brown is heading up that kind of operation here in part with a couple of other guys doing a really good job, and I was speaking to a couple of people in Car Park 2 a couple of nights, and
here we go.
they tell me they've got guys who are very good with figures behind the scenes, so you know, Richard will have all the pedigree stuff covered, you know, horses, physicals and that, and then you've got guys doing the numbers behind it, and it's it helps when you've got money to spend, but they're spending well. I think Keith Raption would like a couple of horses bought from by them boys.
we shall see exactly how he fares with his 2 million purchase, and on Saturday as well, won't we, with Ghostwriter. But you and the car parks, your intel all week has just been from the car park there, just over the road from where we are. How's it served you, your insider intel?
Look, as they say in life, it's not what you know, it's who you know. So
yes.
There you go. No, it's been good. Look, that's part of kind of what makes this week great, is you can go over there and meet friends and have a chat and have a drink and just discuss the day's race and everything. So, yeah, no, it's been good.
It's a wonderful meeting. It really, really is. But again, a few different selections there that we have to go out in the feature race. Do let us know in the comments section below who you fancy. And whilst you're there, also hit subscribe and the bell notification as well, so you never miss an episode. As we move on to the 420 now, this is the Group 3 Jersey Stakes for the 3-year-olds over 7 furlongs. Big field, the unbeaten Remuse is now joint favourite at 5 to 1 at the head of the market with Comanche Brave here, Dec.
Yeah, look, another really competitive race, isn't it? But I've had Comanche Brave on my radar for this race since his first run at the start of the season behind Henry Matisse. everything about him just looks like he's a 7 furlong horse, and I think is running the Irish 2000 Guineas last time out behind Field of Gold, who looks quite a good horse, I think it's fair to say, after what he did here on Tuesday. And it's interesting, his dam, Ishivana, actually won the Jersey Stakes, I think it was the 2012. So if there's a horse bred to win this race, it's certainly him. He's by Wootton Bassett, and he's just a lovely big horse. You were kind of looking at him there at the start of the season. Like a lot of these horses, will they improve from 2 to 3? I think that run from Henry Matisse showed he's absolutely trained on. That was a career best. And even though he didn't stay last time out in the Irish 2000 Guineas, I thought it was just marginally a career best again. And even that run, not only for the trip stretching him, could it be upgraded, but Field of Gold, who's quite a big horse, leaned on him as well and just made life difficult for him. He won't have a Field of Gold to deal with here. So I just hope Ryan Moore can get him into a good posse. The only potential negatives I would have is he's drawn, I think, maybe a little lower than I'd like, looking at the pace. And the other potential negative is he was declared for a race at Leopardstown last week. But he was a non-runner because the rain came, it was soft ground. So I'm just wondering, is this a little bit of plan B? But the market will guide, because for me, he should be favoured. He's absolutely got the strongest form in the book.
Yeah, well, he's bang up there in the market now, isn't he? So like you say, hopefully that will stay at least level now, if not shorten up then about him in terms of what to expect from him this time around. But the ground will suit him for sure.
Absolutely.
Sam, who are you siding with?
Oh, what a great race this looks like on paper. And I'm a bit of a sucker for the 2 unexposed ones really in here. And the market's found both of them, hasn't it? Ramoses for Owen Burrows, really exciting prospect. 2 from 2, perfect record. But I thought Sarsan was probably the one that I just wanted to come down with at the prices. Very, very good on debut. Go back and watch that. That was in October. Soft ground. By looking at the horse's page, I didn't think soft ground would be what he'd want personally. And then he goes to Newbury here. First time we get to see him at 3, because he was so lightly raced at 2. Made his debut at that back end of the season. Ends up 3rd here and still looks a little bit green, I think it's fair to say, and plugs on. And after this, they sort of said they're going to think about maybe a trip to France or the Jersey. So this was always kind of on the radar, which I like. I like the fact that this was probably within the thinking. The horses in front are pretty good. Good enough to win. I really think he's a good each way solid option at around 7-8 to 1. The ground I don't think will be a problem. I think he's going to be absolutely fine, and I think it'd be a big winner for Joseph.
You should have been doing your due diligence and getting onto Kevin Blake, the man who's involved with this horse, and asking him how he's going?
I did see Kevin, but I was too busy asking him to give me another try cast to get up in the big races.
Exactly, yeah. Stride analysis to the fore. He has been flying the flag and then some, hasn't he? Now, you know me and my 7 furlong races. I absolutely love them. They are my favourite contest, 7 furlong races, because I say it all the time, but just in case you've missed it, because you get those 7 furlong specialists. It is such a specialist trip. This race is, of course, trickier because these are 3-year-olds. They're unexposed, they're inexperienced. We're not entirely sure who yet is really that 7 furlong specialist. But the one who appears to be, in my eye, is Marvel Man, who, again, I think is a pretty fair price here. He's just a really, really progressive horse, this lad. I like everything that he's been doing, and the steps forwards that he's been taking as well have been super impressive. At Kempton on his reappearance, that was back in March. And then he ran even better last time out. He was 2nd in listed company at Newmarket. Now that was behind Cosmic Year, who was sent off as a hot favourite. He subsequently finished 2nd in the Irish 2000 Guineas, behind none other than, give him a shout out, Field of Gold yet again. The 3rd, Diego Ventura, he won a listed race on his next start. Labot, who finished 4th, who ran on Thursday at Ascot. Oh, we won't go into that now. Don't mention it. Don't mention it. Oh, finishing 2nd, and then arguably, we would definitely argue, very unlucky 2nd as well in the Britannia by a neck. The 6th, Symbol of Honour, won his next 2. So that is some seriously strong 7 furlong form. Marvel Man ran a cracker, so I thought he could be chanced again, up in grade again into Group 3 company. So at 11 to 2, I'm happy enough with that price, I think it's fair to say. But again, we've got a fair bit of disparity between us in terms of selections.
I'm hoping it's a family affair, and the Donnacha O'Brien horse can follow in his mother's footsteps.
There you go. Nicely done. Nicely rounded up there, but hugely excited about the Jersey. Again, do let us know who you fancy. As we move on to the aforementioned Wokingham Stakes, it comes up at 5 o'clock. Heritage handicap, 3-year-olds and over 6 furlongs. So nice, easy race to finish on here, lads, that we've got to go out. William Haggis, Tom Marquand won this a year ago with Unequal Love. They are back for more with the favourite. More Thunder here at 5 to 1, Sam.
Yeah, I hope it's a case of more, because William Haggis will hopefully get his 3rd win in the race. I think More Thunder is a very worthy favourite here, and I think we can all address the elephant in the room, which is everything that left Sir Michael Stoutes, for whatever reason, has improved significantly.
How many trainers are you going to chuck under the bus today? Come on.
Well, he won't be having a drink with me in car park 2, Willie, let's be honest later.
This is one of those that we don't almost, none of us want to admit, but the facts don't lie and the stats don't lie, that lots of horses have been improving.
Yeah, and this horse has obviously run twice this season, 2 very good wins, it's fair to say. This kind of company is going to need yet more, but has the draw, which is so key now, Dec, isn't it? You've been telling me all week about keep an eye on the draw, keep an eye on the draw. What's he up in there? Like
if the racing Thursday is anything to go by, that stand side rail is it's worth 2 or 3 lengths by the looks of it, isn't it?
And I think it's interesting they've chosen to come here, and I think you go back and read some of the trainer comments as well. We've clearly been looking for something like this for a little while. I think after the last race at Newmarket, they said this is, a really good option for the horse, and I think he'll go really well. 5-1 is short, let's be honest, in a race of this competitive nature, but I think he might just make that mark look a little bit workable, I think it's fair to say.
This horse has absolutely broken my heart twice already this season, and Tom Marquand as well, because I had a good...
those last 2 starts.
Yeah, I had a good bet on a Ram the last day at Newmarket, and I thought he was home and hosed when they kicked down the dip, and this fella just came out of nowhere. He's just got that habit of knowing how to win, doesn't he? Which is always...
well, I hope
it's always quite good in this game.
You again, Dec, and it's 3rd time your heart gets broken, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I hope that habit continues, though, because I'm with him as well here, where rather than, as soon as you see that and you see 5-1 heading the way, you try and find a horse to take him on with. But we've been here time and time again this season already, haven't we? Where why complicate things when the most likely winner is at the head of the market for a reason? And it is more Thunder for me as well. So I feel like I'm being a little bit unoriginal here, but he is just so likeable. And when you look at all of the variables he's going to have to contend with here, every single one of these should see him to even better effect again. And he is still just improving all the time in his hat-trick bid. Because, of course, he's relatively new to sprinting still, but he clearly has the speed for it that he still needs at this stage. But it's the stiff finish that he really wants and that he really needs. And, of course, one of the biggest cliches that we utter all the time about Ascot is the stiff finish on that straight track. That's what he's going to get. A few of these in here I don't think are going to want that finish or the climb to the line here. So 6 furlongs at Ascot, right up his street. And as you said there, Rixie, at Newmarket, as soon as he hit the rising ground, he needed every bit of that incline to be able to get up there.
Yeah, he took off. You can really see that if he gets a clear run, which you obviously need, you can see him eating up the ground late again, can't you?
Yeah. And the drying ground that day was a big concern for him as well. If you remember at the time, I know it was only good ground, this is going to be quicker again, but he has answered the question to an extent for me to be able to chance him to be able to deal with faster conditions.
And that was the only thing when I was going through. I was just trying to maybe find a hole, and I suppose it will be, but it'll be the quickest ground some of these have run on as well. Like, it's so quick out there now, but they've done a great job with the watering, and nice to know what they're putting on each night as well, which has been really helpful. And I still keep the faith, Kate. We're right in this one, I hope.
I hope so as well. And also the tailwind would have counted against him in Newmarket as well, rather than his hold-up tactics. Again, what we say about Ascot on the straight track, those horses that are held up and come weaving through are so often favoured. But yeah, really excited for what is, as always, a super competitive handicap. That wraps up our big race preview. Stay tuned for our best bets of the weekend. It's crunch time, our best bets for the Saturday of Royal Ascot. Rixie, you're up first.
Right, I'm going to go with Comanche Brave in the Jersey Stakes. I'm just hoping he can follow in his mother's footsteps. 7 furlongs fast ground is what he's been crying out for all season. I think he's got the best form in the race, courtesy of that 2,000 guineas form with Field of Gold. As we said, it's quite a good horse. That form kind of looks like it's working out well. The next best, then, I'm going to go to the Hardwicke Table Talk. I think is interesting. There's a couple there to the front of the market that I think are beatable. A 7-year-old at the top of the market, Rebels Romance. If he fluffs his lines, I think it's a really open race, and the stiff track here at Ascot, fast ground, even gallop will suit him. And then the long shot's going to be Flora of Bermuda in the 6 furlong Group 1. Like we said, she's got good course form, Royal Ascot form, and she's got a cracking seasonal debut behind Inisherin, who's a much shorter price than her at the top of the betting, and I don't think he deserves to be. So yeah, those will be probably the 3 losers this week.
Look at you going with your sentimental family values then for your nap. We have an awful lot of time for that, Rixie, so best of luck. Sam, you're up.
Yeah, what a great week it's been, and Aidan O'Brien and Ryan Moore giving punters plenty of joy. So therefore, in the Chesham, I'm going to have to nap, aren't I? Their favourite. Moments of Joy, who was very impressive, rallied when getting headed on debut at Leopardstown, arrives here. Let's be honest, Aidan's 2-year-olds at the moment, absolutely flying. What a week they've had. Unreal, isn't it? And I think he's going to be more packed. I think the horse will go off favourite, 6-4, joint favourite-ish at the moment with Charlie Appleby's runner, but I must say I'm not too taken with that horse, if I'm being honest with you, and I feel like the debut from Aidan's was just more impressive in my book, and I think she'll shorten up, I should say. More Thunder for me will be my next best, Kate. You're completely correct. You made a better case than even me, so I would just suggest everyone goes back and watches that clip. I really like his chances here. I just think he's the right type, and I think he's still got plenty of improvement to come. Fingers crossed that ground suits as well. It's the only real concern there. And my long shot, we'll go to the Hardwicke, shall we? Because I just think Candleford, I know like Isle of Jura last year did it for me. It's going to need an even bigger effort, 365 days off the track. But I just feel like he's not here for no reason. He's got quality, he's got form. I think he can make the frame.
That is your lucky race, though, so I don't blame you to go back there for your long shot either.
Don't have many races to pick from, unfortunately, Kate, to be lucky in.
No, to be fair, no, you have got a good record now in that race. From all I can remember, 1 from 1. So clearly goes to show it's a good record all the same. We talk about Charlie Appleby, though, hoping that he has a winner on Saturday. I'm definitely hoping that because Rebels Romance is going to be my nap in the Hardwicke Stakes. A 7-time Group or Grade 1 winner, proper globetrotter. So much ability, though. Fantastic that we're getting to see him on these shores before he goes off globetrotting again in the autumn. And that reappearance, or last time out, I should say, in the Group 2 at York, showed a super gutsy attitude. First start over a mile 6, but we know a mile 4 is really his trip. So I'm absolutely fine with him dropping back to a mile 4. So Rebels Romance as my nap. Marvel Man in the jersey is going to be my next best bet. Super progressive, already looks like a bit of a 7-furlong specialist. Really impressive winner at Kempton on his reappearance in March. Even better last time out, showing how progressive he is. Second on his first try in listed company behind Cosmic Year. That form has been franked no end. Marvel Man ran a cracker, so can we chance up in grade. And Flora of Bermuda is going to be the long shot in the Queen Elizabeth II Jubilee Stakes, the Group 1 contest. Highly consistent, improved plenty last season, winning a Group 3 at York in July, stepping up into Group 1 company for 3 runs, become a real player on the sprinting scene. She wasn't disgraced in any of those Group 1 starts, and that intertwining form line with Inner Sharon, the price disparity between the pair of those two just looks far too big. So Flora of Bermuda, I feel like I'm sneaking in there with 12-1 about her, but I will still gladly take that and hope that Wafnan have spent their money yet again very wisely. So they are our best bets for the Saturday of Royal Ascot. Lads, it's been an absolute pleasure as always. I hope you have a fantastic final 2 days. Plenty of winners as well, Sam.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Trawlerman was obviously a good selection for the team from last week's show. Hopefully we can round off with a few more. We need to say a big thank you, don't we? Producer Ben and all the guys working behind the scenes, because they've got up extra early to accommodate us and allow us to come here and have a great day out.
Exactly. Have to thank all the team behind the scenes, especially hair and makeup team as well, for producing this. I've never felt more like a princess, Rixie. I'm sure you feel likewise.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'd be like Bambi and Ice coming back with high-heeled shoes like a princess in car park 2 later this evening. So, yeah.
Well, you'll be back in the car park this evening anyway, schmoozing some more. But lads, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for watching. Best of luck with your bets this weekend. But of course, all races at Ascot today, throughout the week, and on Saturday as well are live on Sky Sports Racing. So make sure to join Alex and the team, and we will be back next Friday, back in the studio to preview the Northumberland Plate at Newcastle.